Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to go, a bit deeper than the surface.
Find those key insights.
Exactly. And today, we're getting into a book with a really powerful direct message. It's Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers by Tam Kaur. Less of a gentle suggestion, more like a call to arms, really.
Yeah, definitely. And our mission, I think, for this deep dive is to really unpack what's at the heart of it. The self-love, the healing, the empowerment, it all just radiates from the book.
It really does.
And it feels so relevant for anyone out there feeling stretched thin,
Yeah.
always giving, maybe waiting for someone else to show up for them. This offers a real shift.
Okay, so let's start with that title then. Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers.
It's pretty provocative.
It is.
What's the immediate thing it's trying to say about, taking agency? It just hits you.
It absolutely does. And what's interesting is how that title itself is kind of an invitation, right? To stop romanticizing the struggle, the unreciprocated effort we sometimes pour out.
Yeah, waiting for someone else. Exactly. It signals this refusal to wait for external love or validation or approval. Instead, it pushes you to celebrate choosing yourself.
Which sounds simple, but isn't.
No. It emphasizes that you are the main source of your own joy, your own care, and that's a huge first step in self-love, often a really difficult one.
Which brings us to self-love itself, because the book really challenges that, the Instagram version, bubble baths, chocolates.
Right, the aesthetic.
Yeah. What's the real definition she's offering, beyond the surface stuff?
Well, she defines it less as a luxury, more like fundamental actions. Things like holding your boundaries firmly, like leaving relationships that make you feel small, reclaiming your power, especially if the world's told you you're too much or maybe not enough.
That's powerful.
And it connects deeply to healing your inner child,
Right.
addressing those old hurts and just learning to be okay, truly okay, with being alone sometimes.
That sounds, incredibly challenging. Because loving yourself sometimes means walking away from people.
Yeah.
And that can feel like a real loss.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if, maybe, they benefited from you not prioritizing yourself. Does the book talk about how to handle that feeling, that pain of loss, when you choose yourself?
It does, yeah. It doesn't shy away from that discomfort. It actually leans into it. It acknowledges that the journey will often feel like a loss, at least in the short term.
Okay.
The strategy it suggests is focusing on the long game, the self-respect, the peace you gain eventually. It gives you frameworks to understand why you felt so obligated, helping you process the grief. And it reassures you that the sort of emptiness you might feel, it's actually making space.
Space for something better.
Space for something far more authentic, yeah.
And understanding this often means facing difficult truths about past relationships, doesn't it? The ones that didn't serve us. The book seems to really go there.
It really does. Doesn't pull any punches. It talks about settling for crumbs, overextending yourself for partners who only offer potential. And that frustrating pattern, often for women, of sacrificing their own growth, chasing unavailable love, constantly trying to be the cool, understanding girl.
Yeah, I recognize that.
And this all leads to a really powerful, maybe challenging truth from the book. You can't heal in the same place you were hurt.
That's a big one. But, for many people, physically leaving a place isn't always possible straight away.
Yeah.
How does the book kind of interpret creating new spaces in maybe a more psychological way?
That's a great point. It interprets place quite metaphorically, too. It's about recognizing and then actively creating new mental spaces, new emotional spaces. Even if your physical situation hasn't changed yet, it's about shifting your mindset, setting those crucial new boundaries internally, choosing what and who gets your energy.
No, it's an internal shift first.
Yes. And the book encourages you to look at the roots, childhood trauma, maybe immigrant family dynamics, or that eldest daughter role where you're expected to carry everything. It gives you ways to see those patterns and gently start dismantling them within yourself.
That makes sense. It's not just about packing a bag.
Not always, no.
Okay, something else that really stood out for me was this reclamation of softness. In a world that feels like it's constantly telling us to toughen up, how does the book present being soft as a strength?
Oh, I love that part too. It frames vulnerability as true courage, emotional honesty as resilience, not weakness. It shows how things like crying, actually allowing yourself to rest, choosing ease, these are presented as almost radical acts of self-love in our culture that's obsessed with hustle.
Radical.
It really hammers home the message. You don't need to earn rest or love or peace. You're already worthy of them.
And it gives practical tools, too.
Yes. Practical things like mirror work, not just repeating affirmations, but really looking at yourself with radical acceptance, and journaling to dig up those suppressed feelings and rebuild how you see yourself.
So bringing it all back.
Yeah.
Those flowers, what's the final takeaway on that metaphor?
Yeah.
She says they're a symbol of how you treat yourself.
Exactly. The flowers represent the care, the love, the validation you give yourself. If you're always waiting for someone else to bring them, well, you end up starving, emotionally speaking. So when you choose to buy your own flowers, you're sending a powerful message to your soul. I am enough.
Yeah.
And this deep dive, it's important to say it isn't about just simple, sugar-coated positivity. Buy yourself the damn flowers is raw. It looks at heartbreak, loneliness, even rage, and then rebirth.
It sounds like a really honest journey.
It is. So for anyone listening who's tired of constantly giving, fixing, putting others first, this book is like a profound invitation to finally receive and to do it unapologetically.
A powerful invitation indeed.
So maybe the question for you listening is, what's one small act, just one thing, of buying yourself flowers that you could do today?